Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video and episode 3 of my season 2023 season preview for the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship. In the last couple episodes, of course, I talked about the title contenders and then the race winning contenders in the last couple of episodes. This one we get into some of the stars that will be up there for in the next at least the next 5, maybe 10 years time as well. 10 years time in Chase Sexton, Adam Cianciarulo, Dylan Ferrandis, and of course Justin Cooper, who is in his rookie 450 Supercross season. And I'll get to rookie in a second. I'll get to that later. Let's start off with, of course, the supposedly star, and some people recognise to be one of the favourites for this year's Supercross Championship, and that being Chase Sexton. Now the number one rider there, now that Ken Roxon has left. I mean, had a breakout year last year on both indoors and outdoors, obviously. Claimed his first Supercross win at San Diego, I believe. I think it was somewhere earlier in the season. I think it was San Diego. I think. But then didn't win a race. Didn't win another race despite how good he was. He was good in the final couple of rounds, pushing Jason Anderson in the final 2 races, when, of course, as we all know, Eli Tomac was out for the last couple of races due to his knee injury. But still ended up finishing 6th in the championship. But the reason why everyone's really talking about him was because of his outdoor season, where he pushed Eli Tomac all the way to the final round of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, finishing 2nd in that one, winning 3 overalls in that season. Unfortunately, wasn't quite enough to beat Tomac in the end. But the real question is, does that form from the pro motocross scene count towards his Supercross form leading into this season? For me, look, I get where everyone's coming from in a way where Chase is, a favourite because of his outdoor season. But it's definitely really proved the last couple of years that form on the outdoor side of things one year doesn't bode well for in the summer when it comes into the next Supercross season. Because remember, Zach Osborne won the 2020 Lucas Oil Pro Motocross 450 Championship, and we all thought, and even I thought, he's going to challenge for this championship. I think I even picked him to win the Monster Energy Supercross title in 2021 due to his outdoor form. And what did he do? And I think he even finished inside the top 10 in the championship in 2021. I think he did, but only just inside the top 10 in that championship. Dylan Ferrandis last year, of course, in 2021, he ended up winning the Pro Motocross Championship in his rookie season, his first full season in the 450 class. And then the next season, show glimpses, but we'll get to Dylan Ferrandis in a bit. But he didn't back it up in the Supercross scene as well. So you can tell why I am a bit about this because, or a bit, I'm more just sitting on the fence about this one because, I really want to join everyone in saying, everyone's back and saying, Sexton's going to win the title this year. He's going to win the championship this year, and then suddenly, bang. But if for a lot of other, there's been a lot of legend. The most recent one, Ryan Villapoto being one that has won their first 450 Supercross championship in their third year. I think James Stewart won it in his third year as well. I'm trying to think of when Ricky Carmichael I think it was his second or third year. I don't in the top class. I don't know. But it's been a lot of legends that have or greats of Supercross that have won the premier class championship in their third year. And I can see why everyone's saying Sexton's going to be one of them. It's going to be another one that would win the title in their third year. And I forgot Cooper Webb, the most very recent one, who won the title in his third year. In his third year in the 450 class after 2 disappointing years of Yamaha. So I could see what I mean by this coming to the conclusion is I can see where everyone's coming from in all this hype about Chase Sexton. But on the other side of things, there's me in my head saying, it's happened to Osborne. It's happened to Osborne. It happened to Ferrandis. Is this going to happen with Sexton? Is it? And I don't think he's the heavy favourite. I know he's probably going to be one of them, but I don't. I think if he has a good start to the year, like be on the box in all 3 rounds. I know this is probably me being a bit, having expectations on him a bit too much. But if he is on the if he showed that consistency through pro motocross and basically just like in the first 4 races, and minimise the crashes, like he had massive crashes in 2022, or actually these first couple of years in the 450 class, really, he's had massive crashes, and if he minimises those, then no doubt, I think based on his consistency from the pro motocross, if he brings it over to the Supercross scene, no doubt, I believe that everyone's hype around him will be right. But I'm still a bit skeptical about him. I'm still a bit jury's out on that one. But you never know, he probably might eat my words, just win like 7 races and just win the championship. But I believe for me, still a bit jury's out on that one. I still am sitting on the fence really about his championship credentials alongside that Honda. Speaking of Honda and Sexton, what's interesting about this is, what makes it more interesting for Chase Sexton this year is that he is off contract with Team HRC Honda at the end of this season. He's going to be a free agent. And there's been growing speculation that he could join Red Bull KTM. The problem, but the only problem here is he's sponsored by Monster Energy. Now it's a lot harder that you think to change brands in terms of moving from Monster Energy to Red Bull, and vice versa to Red Bull to Monster Energy. It's some people think it's easy, just change teams and all that, but it's really not that easy, if you know what I mean. I would expect it's not that easy. So So yeah, so yeah, yeah. It's been growing speculation into Red Bull KTM, and so on, and so forth, and 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 if I wonder if it goes, for example, if he does win the championship and KTM have a bad year, then he could re-sign with Team Honda HRC. But what if, or if he has a bad year, well, not a bad year, but the same kind of years he did last year, a lot of crashes, a bit of big results here and there, a win or two, but still finish like fourth or fifth in the championship. And he wants to, and he does what Ken, because this is why Ken Roczen, if you think about it, went to Team HRC Honda in the first place in 2017. He wanted to be on a team and a bike that would get him to that Supercross championship. And if Sexton goes, I don't see myself winning my first Supercross my first 450 Supercross title on a Honda, and see it more on a KTM, then he would jump at the chance to be on that KTM, even though they had new bike problems last year. He would jump at the chance, no doubt, if he does see that he can see his first 450 Supercross championship on a KTM than on a Honda. So, and also, if you think about it, there's a guy in the 250 class currently right now by the name of Jetson Lawrence that is going to be, no doubt, going to be in the 450 class next year. And Chase would be seeing that going, oh, my spot as the number one rider might be a bit limited. So that will be another reason why he probably would jump ship. Because all Honda's gonna do is gonna put their attention on the Jet, and then Chase probably, I'm not gonna say will get forgotten about, but obviously, but they'll put all their attention to Jet, and then basically just forget Chase and all that. I don't see them Honda doing that, but Jet is coming, and they would want him to be kept. I still think we'll talk about Colt Nichols in the next episode. I still think that signing is still a bit of a stopgap thing for Jet to come up into the 450 class. I would assume if Chase does stay at Honda, then I'll assume it'll be Sexton and Jet that would be in the 450 team in 2024. No doubt about it. And then basically, or if Sexton does leave, they can just do Jet and Colt Nichols, and then wait until Hunter Lawrence gets good in the 250 class, and then bump him up alongside Jet, and being a Lawrence Brothers team lineup down at Team Honda HRC. There's a lot of possibilities with this silly season move. But as I said earlier, to end this discussion on Chase Sexton, I think on this topic, I think if he thinks that his first Supercross title is more likely to be on a KTM than a Honda, then most likely he will jump ship. No doubt about it. He will jump ship. That's pretty much the story. Next rider I want to talk about is, of course, a guy who hasn't had a lot of he's had a lot of success over his career, but in recent years he's been savaged by injury throughout his first 3 years in the 450 class. And of course, having two champion teammates in like Tomac for the first 2 years, and then Jason Anderson, as we all know what he did last year, is a bit difficult. And that being Adam Cianciarulo. Of course, last year he missed most of the 2022 Supercross season with a knee injury. And the big question on everyone's mind is, does AC last the full season? There's the possibility of that. We all thought it took him. I think this is his 4th season, and don't forget when he was in the 250 class, it took him 4 years for him to have a full Supercross season under his belt. He had an injury-ravaged 2014. He was injured in 2014 in his first professional year, and then injuries hindered him in 2015 and 2016. And then 2017, of course, as we all know, he nearly won the championship, and I think he had full seasons in 2017, 18, and 19 after those 3 years, I think. So it's not like it's the end of the world for AC. I think if he needs to have a full season under his belt, a Supercross season under his belt in 2023, so that means he doesn't, be on the back foot when it comes to outdoors. I know 2020 he did contest the Pro Motocross Championship with Zach Osborne, but then afterwards he's really been behind the 8 ball really on those fronts in Pro Motocross. That's probably down to not having a full season of Supercross under his belt, and that being not being me as an expert, but me watching dirt bikes for years. A full season of Supercross under your belt, it is very, very, very important, because that would mean that you've had a full riding and all that, and you're not going into a season behind the 8 ball. That's how training becomes important. If you haven't rode in Supercross, for example, like if you rode the first 4 rounds but then get injured, during the week and you miss the rest of the season, then you're really behind the 8 ball. Or it's actually should I say rewind it back, an injury that would really out for the rest of the Supercross season, but you can still race the motocross season. That extra bit of racing, that break you had from your injury, that could really cost you, because you wouldn't have had the bit of extra riding that you would do to try and get you prepared for that season. So that's important for AC really to on that front for AC. I think for me it really, as I said, in the 250 class, in his 250 career, it took him 4 seasons for him to get a full season of Supercross under his belt, and this is now his 4th year in the 450 class. It doesn't necessarily say that he's gonna that he'll do a full season, but it's there anyways. But despite him having an injury ravaged couple of years, it doesn't mean that it overshadows his talent. He's one of the most talented. He's probably one of top 3 at his best, top 3, top 5, top 3 talented riders in the world. No doubt about it. It's just that injuries had kept him down. And I think if he has a full season Supercross under his belt, and he's also good at the motocross scene. I think this new Super Motocross format, this Supercross motocross hybrid of tracks, which as a recording, the 3 tracks for it were announced today. I think this would, if Cianciarulo was to be in these playoffs, I think it'll benefit him because he's more. I think because of his talent, I think he'll be more suited to that. And also, remember the last time we've had this like Supercross motocross hybrid of tracks in 2019 in the Monster Cup, he ended up winning that. So there's no doubt about it that Cianciarulo has the talent to at least, you know, be on have a couple of podiums, even the odd win. I think for me, I don't think he's a contender for this championship. I think his teammate Jason Edison clearly is. I think for me, I think for AC, it's just getting a full season under his belt. Really, is the focus before taking that next level and basically challenging for the championship. So that's the end of that discussion, and let's move on to Dylan Ferrandis, who is aboard again with the Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha team, teammate of Eli Tomac. It was an okay sort of a season. It was okay sort of a season. I mean, he was out for most of the season, for a little bit of the Supercross season, and then out for most of the motocross season. So he didn't really give his title defense in the Pro Motocross Championship much of a go because he was out most of the time with injury. But he really did. But he really showed why he was 450 motocross champion at the MX Nations for France. Apparently did really well in that. And then of course did really well, obviously, most recently at the Paris Supercross. So does that mean it? So I think for me, I think this is the year. I think we're seeing Ferrandis at times where he's had the odd podium or two. I think it's time to really step up and because now with Eli Tomac now coming towards the end, it's really time for him to start to Bobby Reagan and all the team at the Star Racing team at Star Racing that he can be the leader in that team if Eli Tomac does decide to hang up the boots at the end of the season. I think this is his time to really step up to that, and just prove that he can show his potential and show why he's a 2-time 250 Supercross champion, and show it's time for him to really show that. And I think he needs to get his starts down pat, because we all know Ferrandis has not been a great starter. We all know that. We all know that he hasn't been a great starter. He's been known to start pretty badly towards 7th through to 12th, and then charge through the field and come back to either finish top 5 or on the podium, or in often cases when he was in the 250 class, come back and win. I think if he gets his starts right and basically so that means he doesn't have much to do in terms of passing, and basically runs his own race, then no doubt about it, he can challenge. He can have a couple of wins under his belt and possibly even contend with Eli for a possibly unlikely title. I know it's massive of me to say. It's massive for me to say, but yeah, I think for me, I think for me, if he gets his starts down pat, then he's on his way for sure. On that front for Dylan Ferrandis. Final rider I want to talk about, and who is also on the Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha in his rookie 450 Supercross season, and I'll tell you about that in a bit. Is of course 2021 250 East champion in Justin Cooper. So for some reason, he is not eligible to be in the 250 Supercross class, and he'll ride a select rounds in the 450 class. And I don't know why that is, because he didn't get a chance, because obviously with injury, he didn't get a chance to defend his title, to win a second 250 title. He didn't have a chance. Didn't have a chance to. I just don't see the point really. And some people said, this is going to ruin his career not having a true rookie season, which definitely he will. In probably in 2024 if Eli does retire after this season, but yeah, it's definitely ruined. It's definitely ruined it. I think, and I think the poor bloke, I believe, has been denied, I believe, a true rookie season in terms of competing in all 17 rounds. He's only going to be. I would happen to guess he'll probably race maybe, I don't know, maybe at 4 races. Probably 4 races on the west side, maybe and then another 4 races on the east. So maybe that's about 8 races, which is not really enough, really. And that would pretty much not help him. I know that he will contest the full. I think he will contest the full 450 motocross season. I think I heard that has been agreed to. But even so, that's 8 races is not enough Supercross experience. Yes, I know. Especially on a 450. Race experience in Supercross on a 450 is massive. It's massive. Like we spoke about Jet Lawrence earlier in the Chase Sexton segment, but I think for me, and there's been rumor and speculation that he would since he's racing West, announced that he's been racing West in the 250 class, that he'll probably race selected races in the 450 class in the East rounds. That is currently currently right now not true. But those were the speculations. I think for me, but at least he will have, but at least that Honda were intended to race him 250 class in the Supercross and then 450 class in the motocross, but then selected and then have a couple of rounds in the 450 Supercross class before moving up to the big boys fully in 2024. For Justin Cooper, he doesn't get that. So that just, for me, that as I said, he's denied a true 450 Supercross rookie season. And I know he will get that in 2024, but it's a bit unfair on him, really. On that front, and that would put, and I won't be surprised if he has a average 450 motocross season because of the lack of experience on that 450 bike. So yeah, maybe something changes from in the near future, and he does go with the full 450 Supercross season, but at this point it says select rounds. I think it's a bit disappointing for me that a guy of Justin Cooper's caliber who at his best can challenge Jet. It was on a level playing field with Jet, as it proved when he was in the 250 motocross class in 2021. He challenged Jet all the way to all the way for the championship. That he can be on Jet's level. Unfortunately, that's not. I think for me, the lack of experience. I mean, 8 races. I don't think it's enough, really. A Supercross experience of 450 to for him really. I think it's, as I said, it's just a bit disappointing on that front. About that. Lastly, of course, my other segments, obviously, the most under pressure going into this season, it undoubtedly has to be Cianciarulo. I think he needs to get a full 450 Supercross season under his belt. As I said, it took him 4 seasons to get a full season of Supercross in the 250 class under his belt. It took him 4 seasons for that in 2017. And this is his 4th 450 Supercross season. And then afterwards he was away. This is his 4th Supercross, and of course this is his 4th Supercross season in the 450 class. Just put 2 and 2 together, ladies and gentlemen. And my spotlight rider, it has to be Chase Sexton. I mean, as I said, I can see where the hype is coming from, but I'm still jury's out on whether he's a true title contender. I think the old saying is you can't win the championship in the first few races, but you can lose it. And I believe if Sexton doesn't have as many crashes and finishes on the box at least the first couple of races, and maybe the first 2 out of the first 3 races, or even on the box of the first 3 races, possibly, he'll be well on his way to being a title contender. No doubt about it. But at the end of the day, but also Ken Roczen has proved that you can have a great start to the year and you can still lose the championship. So it's all about the end of the year. So if he's in it, if he's in it for up until the end of the season, then he is a chance. So yeah. So my most under pressure rider out of this class of riders going to the season is AC, and then the spotlight rider is of course Chase Sexton on the team HRC Honda. That is pretty much it for this episode. There's going to be 2 more episodes to go. I'll try and get all 5 of get the remaining 4 of these episodes out. The first one is out. Go and check it out. But I'm gonna try and simply, get the remaining 4 episodes out. I've already recorded episode 2, which I haven't released yet. But I'm hoping to release all 5 episodes as soon as the gate drops on the main events at Anaheim 1, which will be tomorrow. By the way, here in Australia, because for some reason because USA's time is behind us time, is behind Australian time here. So yeah. So like this video, share this to anybody who's a Supercross fan. Comment down below. Do you think Chase Sexton's going to win this Supercross championship? Do you believe the Chase Sexton hype is real? Love to hear your opinions. And one last thing, somewhere down there, check out the big red button, which is, click on the big red button, I should say, is labeled subscribe. But until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later. And wherever you may be, may the sun or the moon shine on you. It would definitely be shining on all the Chase Sexton fans if he does win this title in 2023. No doubt.